Kendall Roy, the son of iconic media boss Logan Roy, who is expected to take over Waystar Royco. Heir to an empire or a tragic figure? How did this man who dreamed of sitting on the throne of the media giant find himself? This complex story of power, family, betrayal, and tragedy reveals one man's struggle to step out of his father's shadow and find his own identity.
If you think success is an easy journey, you are definitely not part of the Roy family. This is not only the story of my family, but also a Shakespearean tragedy set in the corporate world. Your every move can make you king, but it can also ruin you. My father, Logan Roy, was a giant, a legend. Waystar Royco wasn't just a company, it was his empire, and we were pawns in his chess game. For years, I tried to prove that I was the heir he needed. I thought I had everything under control: a Harvard education, sharp instincts, and a hunger for success. But Logan? To him, loyalty and ruthlessness were more important than anything else. And I idolized him. But he was a man who only understood power. He told me I had to earn it. I wanted that seat to show my father that I was the best. But I realized that Logan Roy never gave back anything he took from you when you showed weakness, even if you were his own son. My relationship with my mother was a bond that was overshadowed by my relationship with my father, and perhaps never fully developed. I wanted to get out of my father's shadow and make my own rules. I tried to take over the company, to overthrow him, but that day I was crushed. He was strong, ruthless. My first defeat was my first lesson. That was my first big fall. At the board meeting, when I was expected to take over the company, Logan caught me by surprise and destroyed me in front of everyone. That moment was a turning point for me, the beginning of my obsession to take his place. I realize now how unprepared I was when I tried to overthrow my father. Addiction. I don't know how much of it I chose myself, and how much of it took over me. At first, I started just to relieve the stress of work, to forget for a moment the crushing pressure of my father on me. But then, it got out of control. A tragedy, an accident, and that child. It changed my life in a way that will never be the same again. My father turned this accident into an opportunity. He took me completely under his control. I was now his puppet, chained by my own mistakes, tossed about in his hands. I became dependent on him. This regret is a stain that will never be erased for the rest of my life. I wanted to put everything back together, to normalize, but I couldn't. My father used this to his advantage and pushed me further into a corner. We all wanted the same thing: our father's approval and the top of Waystar. Roman has always been hard to understand. I feel that behind his joking, dismissive, uncaring demeanor, there is a huge wound. We all know that my father never took him seriously, but Roman pretends that he doesn't. Maybe that's why he wears a mask, like he doesn't want to be in my father's good graces. Shiv is a strong and intelligent woman, perhaps the smartest in this family. She is caught between hatred and admiration for my father, just like me. She knows that she is nothing more than a tool of strategy for my father. But she is not brave enough to say it out loud. I can't deny that I envy Shiv. His confidence, the way he always knows what he wants, makes things easier for him to achieve. And Connor. He's a man who lives in his own universe. We're a team when it suits us, but most of the time we go behind each other's backs. My father was a master at turning us all against each other. Remember when my father forced us to play bore on the floor? It wasn't a family dinner, it was psychological warfare. Finally, the day came and I made a choice. This was to be my salvation, my rebellion. I stood up to my father, to the corrupt foundations of this company. I exposed his crimes at that press conference. It was the first time in my life that I felt in control. Maybe I'd finally get the respect I deserved. I was wrong. Logan Roy never gives up. He learns everything before he finishes a battle. Before I could make my move, he had already set up his game. He knocked me down one more time. I was beaten once again. My father died. Running the company was no longer just a job for me. It was an opportunity to take over Waystar, to realize my own vision, to prove that I had the skills to run the empire he had built. For years, I was crushed in his shadow. He made me feel like I didn't know what it took to be a leader. But now it was time to face reality. My father was no more. I would be alone on this throne, either in victory or defeat. There were moments when I thought I was too weak to carry the legacy my father left. Then came Tom and Shiv's betrayal. Shiv's destruction of me when I was on the brink of victory. It was a blow harder than any business failure. Did my father ever really love me? Or how real was my love for him? I have learned two things in life. Love can fall victim to power games, and the price of power is always paid in loneliness. I also fought with my father within myself. So, am I really free in the end? Or did I just build my own prison? I don't know. I am still trying to figure out who I am in this war. I will be in this war no matter what. Do you think there is still hope for me?
Kendall Roy's story was an attempt to relive power and family conflicts within himself. A man trapped in his father's shadow, struggling to find his own identity. But do you think Kendall Roy can really win this battle? Or will he always be remembered as a tragic hero?